This is the start of part 2. You will find that there is a small amount of overlap, hopefully for continuity. And eventually there is going to be part 3. So hang in there, it'll all be ready for you. And I want about 25 pixels. Now, the amount of padding that you put in is totally up to you, and it's all in how you want this to look. And if we look at the design, okay, if I click on this, you'll notice that there is this sort of hashed area, and that's the padding. And notice that it tells me when I put the cursor in here, it says padding 25 pixels. All right, now the other thing I want to do is I want the font size to be larger. All right, notice that in the CSS document, my font size for the body is 18, so everything at this point is going to be an 18 pixel type. Well, I want my type size, or my font size, to be larger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Font, come down to Size, and I'm going to say 2EM. All right, the EM, this EM, says that it is going to be twice as large. EM is a proportional sizing. So if I go back to this, notice that I now have larger font. And if I go back here to my CSS sheet, I can then say text align, and I can, I can text align center. Now, what happened? I'll show you in a second here. All right, when I hit a return, I get to text align. I press enter, and now if I press center and press enter again, it works. If, however, being sort of repetitively redundant in my error, if I hit enter, if I double click, nothing happens. So what I have to do is highlight the one that I want and press the enter key and then put the semicolon in. I'm now going to do Command S. It's saved. I go back here, and now my text is centered. Now, something you should notice. When I started, before I put the padding in, this box and this box were the same height. And I can show you that if I come back to, all right, I'm going to take the padding out of the title, and save it, and come back again. And notice that these are just about the same height. All right, and if you get really exciting about it, I can pull that up. Well, what I can do is go in here and say, okay, the logo, we're going to make the top left, we'll make this 60 and 60, and we'll make this 240. Notice that the top is 60, and now I want to look at the height, and we'll make this 230, and we'll make the height here also 230. All right, so now the top of both of those boxes should be in the same place, and the height should be the same, so you can see a little bit of daylight. But if I come back into the title and I put in padding of 25 pixels, which made the text look better, it now has made this box appear to be larger. Now, notice he says that the height is still 230, but if I go back, not really, because I've got an extra 50 pixels for the padding. So if you really get excited about it, what you have to do is reduce the size of the box like that. It now has looks to be physically the same size, but effectively this interior height is different. So picky, picky, picky. All right, now what I need to do is I need a logo. So I want to save this. I want to come back here. I want to save this. Now this moved around because I changed the physical height. All right. All right. I need a logo picture in here. All right. So the logo picture ought to be what size? Well, going to the code isn't going to be doing any good because it's all over here. Notice that this is 240 wide by 230 high. So I need an image that is less than 230 by 230. So let's go hunt up my logo and hide. And what I want to do is go Documents and Dreamweaver, box model. There we go. All right, now I have a logo.gif. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it into class demo. And now it's going to be available for me to use much more easily in here. So what I'm going to do is insert image, and I'm going to pick the logo GIF and choose. Now all of a sudden I get all of this image tag accessory attributes. Okay, what this is if I have a text or if I have a web page reader, I am visually impaired, then it is going to read the alternate text to the image. So I'm going to go SVGS LOGO. And if there was a long description somewhere on the web, I could put in the web address. But you really ought to put that in. Then do OK. All right, now there is my image. But that doesn't look really good either. I want to save that. And this is where it gets a little funky. I'm also going to do text align center. Yeah, I know it's not text, but that's what we have to do in order to get that to line up. Now, if I click on the image, it tells me that it is 226 high by 200 wide. Well, let's see. I could put in a bit of padding on each side and get it to so that it would better fill this, or I can adjust the size of the box. Well, let's make this a little bit bigger and put some padding around it. And I'm going to do this. I'm not going to make the padding the same, or I could actually. Let's see. All right, this is 220 wide, and this is, well, we're going to make this 240. So now I've got at 240, and oh, I've already forgotten. All right, this is 200 wide. This is 240 wide. So I've got 20 pixels of padding on both sides. So back on my CSS, what I'm going to do is padding bottom 20 pixels and padding top 20 pixels. And if I go back, now I've got the same padding all the way around, and now I've got to pull this down so that these line up a little bit better. Now, one of the questions is, how could I make this text come down more into the middle? Well, there are a couple of things you could do. You could make the top padding bigger and push it down, or you could put a couple of returns in. But I'm going to put my navigation material in here, so I'm not going to do that at the moment. This ends part 2. Shortly you will have part 3, and we may even have to go to part 4 depending on how time runs. If there's 4 parts, the 4th part will be short.